Hello?
What's your least favorite scary movie?
You can't escape your own mind. Welcome to What's Your Least Favorite Scary Movie, the podcast where we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the absurd in all of our favorite
And least favorite.
scary movies.
Because we believe every horror movie rightfully has its fan base.
Even if we don't always get it.
My name is Travis.
My name's Jessie.
And welcome back, everybody.
Yay.
We are talking about Smile this week on the show.
Yes, and just a quick housekeeping item. It is most likely that this is going to be what we refer to as a live, unedited recording, just due to some
Scheduling.
things that have happened in our personal lives. So
Yeah, nothing bad. It's just, scheduling shit happen. And, it just is what it is. So hopefully that's okay with everybody.
yes, we try not to do this too often with our non-bonus episodes, just because we really do believe in the quality that we want to put out there most of the time. But sometimes this just happens. So it was either this or no episode this week. So we opted for an episode that might be a little bit raw around the edges than we're typically putting out there. So
It's okay. I think we're going to do just fine.
We'll
Because
see.
We're talking about a fucking banger of a movie this week. Yeah.
Mm.
So before we get into any of that, though, I do not have polls. Again, part of our chaotic schedule over the weekend kind of just slipped through the cracks, unfortunately. So that's not a thing that we are going to be reviewing at the beginning of this episode. But I'll have one out for Smile on Friday. So be on the
So
lookout for
he
that.
says.
So I say, I could be wrong. I could be a liar right now, but I hope I'm not. That's not the goal. All right. You got any announcements?
No, I already did that.
Okay. Well, then I guess we just go right in to
All
Smile.
right.
Yeah. Okay. So, Smile premiered September 22nd, 2022 at Fantastic Fest with its wide release 8 days later at September 30th, 2022. We watched it on Paramount Plus. And if you want to watch it right now, you will have to watch it on Paramount Plus or on Netflix. But there's also rental options such as Amazon, Apple, YouTube, and Fandango at home. This movie is written and directed by Parker Finn. Music by Cristobal Tapia de Veer. And I've got a little snippet for that right there. So does that name sound familiar to you?
Can you say it one more time?
Cristobal Tapia de Veer.
Yes, only because the Cristobal sounds familiar.
Okay. Well, you've went on a rant about this guy with me personally. I don't know if other people share this, but he's the guy that did the White Lotus theme.
Ow! I didn't go on a rant.
You went a rant on season 3's.
Yes, because season 3's was not so good, but some of that was due to Greg White interfering and being apparently kind of a little bit of a menace towards Cristobal. But I don't know, there's a lot of stuff
really?
going on behind the scenes.
Listen, if you guys are interested, just deep dive into the White Lotus subreddit.
But no, the first season, absolute banger. Second season, some people think it's the best version of the theme.
You disagree, I
I
think.
disagree.
Yeah.
I like the Hawaii season, but this one, what we were getting
In the runtime just was not hitting. If you listen to the full version on YouTube, it sounds pretty good.
See, people, this is what I was talking about. I didn't go on a rant, but here's a rant.
I am not alone in how disappointing that, because we didn't have the woos.
Yeah, well, you said that it's in the extended version.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that was going to get a reaction out of you just because of that. I think he kills it in the soundtrack for this one. I saw how he actually did some of the stuff. I think he also did some of the noises for the monster. And he had these really, really weird instruments. I don't even know what I would call them. I'd never seen them before in my life.
interesting.
Yeah, it was a whole 10-minute segment of no commentary, nothing. It just was a camera of his little studio and he was just making sounds.
That's cool.
It was pretty neat. I appreciate it. Special effects makeup, we have two teams here. We have Amalgamated Dynamics, who did the practical effects, and The Artery, who did visual effects.
I feel like we've heard of amalgamated effects.
Sounds familiar. They had talked about some of the people that did some of the design work on the monster at the end of this movie, or the demon, I guess, if you wanted to call it that. They made mention of Pumpkinhead being one of the things that they worked on, but it's not Stan Winston that did this, so I don't know. Could have been people that worked on that team.
Tremors.
Tremors.
That's why I thought it sounded familiar.
Okay,
Tremors.
so yeah, it was a solid team right here. All right, so starring Sosie Bacon as Rose Cotter, Kyle Gallner as Joel, Jesse T. Usher as Trevor, Robin Wiegert as Dr. Madeline Northcott, and Jillian Zinzer as Holly.
Okay.
Jesse, time for our favorite show or game on the show.
Time
Live
for our
episode.
favorite game show.
Yeah, time for our favorite game on this show. Budget or Buckhead.
Welcome to every fucking To Be or Not to Be, Travis.
I know. Well, at least you can't really hold it over me now after you fucked up here.
No, that'll be true once I fuck it up like 3 more times.
Okay, well, I'm keeping count. All right, so what's your guess here? You think it's budget or Buckhead?
Ooh.
Budget being 10 million and above.
I think it's high Buckhead.
High Buckhead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this movie is $17 million.
Wow, I didn't think Kyle Gallner was allowed to be in a movie that was considered budget.
Did he? I mean,
I feel like he's an indie darling.
Nightmare on Elm Street was probably budget. Maybe not. I don't know. They didn't really throw a whole lot of money at those remakes.
I don't love that movie.
It doesn't matter. He's in it,
that
whether you
movie.
like it
I
or
forgot
not.
he
Kyle
was in
Gallner's
it.
a piece of cinematic history there with that.
I
version.
forgot he was in it.
He's a sad little emo kid. Again.
I was gonna say that's his role in Jennifer's Body.
Yep. All right. Opening box office 22 million. Worldwide gross 217 million.
Wow.
IMDb 6.5 out of 10.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised. I thought it would have been even higher than that.
Yeah, I guess that kind of feels right. I see a lot of people like this movie, but I think the more I looked into it, the more I saw some people were on it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I have 3 other movies that were released in 2022 that...
Dude, 2022 was a banger of a year. How on earth?
What kind of a theme did you come up with?
Well, okay, I could do 2 themes because today on Connections they did 2022 horror movies and Smile was one of them. So if we're talking about
As
those,
was Pearl.
Yeah, so Pearl, Scream, and Nope were on that list.
Yeah.
But I have a whole other list here. I have a theme, and the theme is other things you can do with your mouth. It's Jesse raised her eyebrow. That's right, baby.
Oh, boy.
All right. So movie number 1, Talk to Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is actually really funny because it's more of a hand that you have to use. But then that invokes like 80s, 90s talk to the hand.
That's true. Yeah. So Talk to Me came out October 30th, 2022. That was the premiere date. It actually had its wide release in 23, I believe. Or maybe 24. I can't remember.
It was in August, I remember, because we saw it on your birthday.
That's true. So 23 probably. Budget of 4.5 million. Worldwide gross 91 million. IMDb 7.1.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people love that. I am in the minority.
Yeah.
I didn't really
we'll
love that
talk
movie.
about it at some point.
Yeah, we will. Movie number 2, Swallowed. That released.
I've not even heard of that.
I hadn't either. I've heard of Swallow, but I've not heard Swallowed.
All right, I'm going to continue to be a contrarian, and I'm going to say that you don't swallow with your mouth, you swallow with your throat.
Okay, well, I guess you can be like a little downer here and just fuck up my theme here that I worked really hard to try and piece
Not
together.
hard enough, apparently.
So anyways, that movie released June
Did you
4th.
warm up before these stretches?
Jesse, this is not even that big of a stretch. You need... How are you going to swallow without your mouth? How's it going to get in there? It has to go into the mouth for it to be swallowed. You don't swallow with any other orifice.
Orifice?
Yes. That's what I said.
I mean, feeding tube would just go like, you don't need the mouth for it.
Yeah, but you're not swallowing shit. It just gets like put into you. Whatever. Anyways, that released June 4th, 2022. Don't have budget or gross, but it's a 5.3 on IMDb. I don't know.
What's it
anything
about?
I have no idea. I think it was like vampire shit.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't know. It's
Are
been a
you
week
yeah,
since I've
it
watched.
really sounds like you're just making it up.
I gathered all of this information days ago, so I forgot. So the final one is Speak No Evil. That is the original one, the non-James
Okay.
McAvoy one. That released March 17th, and it had a budget of 3.2 million, worldwide gross 377,000. IMDb score of 6.6.
I just have to point out that's something that you would not do with your mouth because it's speaking no evil.
Well, it's an action still. I'm speaking no evil with my mouth.
an
I'm speaking good shit.
inaction.
I'm speaking good shit. I'm not speak no evil. Speak good.
You do speak good, honey.
Thank you. Okay. Let's do some taglines.
Let's do some taglines.
All right. So the tagline on the poster, once you see it, it's too late.
That's true. That
Yeah.
feels, although like that's one of those taglines that it like feels really good, but then you're like, this feels like it could apply to a ton of horror movies.
Yeah, it can. And also, it's not too late. You can still survive this thing if you see it.
Yeah, you just have to be a cold down murderer.
That's true. Yeah. All right. Number 2, pass it on. Yeah, I like that. It's like a little like passing notes in the classroom.
Again, and there were a lot of similarities between this and It Followed that I clocked
Yeah.
this time because we just watched It Follows
Like
last
the-
weekend.
Yeah. I could get that too. There's like It Follows in the Ring is really like influential on this. I feel. The New Face of Fear.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
a good one.
Mhm. It's a scary face. I'll give them credit there.
Yeah.
It's not the derpy smiley face from
Truth or Dare.
Yeah. And the final one, what makes you smile? That one's kind of lame.
Yeah. So,
It's whatever. All right. So that's it for the taglines. Let's get into some fun facts.
do it.
So, I got a lot of shit for this. So this movie is actually a follow-up to Parker Finn's short that he did in 2020. It's called Laura Hasn't Slept. It stars Kaylin Stacy, who is the girl Laura from the opening of this movie, same girl. It's not a direct sequel, though. I feel like I originally thought that, but it's more of like a parallel, same type of character, same actor, same name and everything. They just retold it in Smile in the opening instead. But this one has Lou Temple as her
Oh,
psychiatrist
cool.
in that. Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. That's only going to be in maybe a few people like him. I like him because he was really nice to me at Scarefest when
Travis, I think you're forgetting the popular allure of The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, is he a big character in that? I know he's
I
in it. I just didn't
have
know he was
no
big.
fucking clue, but I feel like people can name the minorest of characters in The Walking Dead at this point.
You're right. Yeah. So this movie was originally planned to be a Paramount Plus release. However, it had such strong test screenings that they decided that they were going to make it a theatrical release.
All right.
The original title was going to be Something's Wrong with Rose. Paramount spent about $50 million promoting this movie. They concocted a marketing campaign that it was the weekend
it was
before.
it was like viral. They had people showing up at like baseball games and
Yes.
stuff.
It was a weekend before the release of the movies when they did it, and this one was really cool because I'm a big baseball fan, and I remember when this movie came out, like there were people smiling behind the umpire, like what the fuck is going on? And I went back and I rewatched the footage of that, and it is pretty creepy. But they have them like wearing like these neon signs, and it's just like smile written on there and on their shirts, and yeah, it was a really effective marketing campaign. So the original intent for the story here is it's basically a nightmare from Rose's perspective that gradually escalates throughout the film. They used Parker Finn used personal fears as influencers for this. So the first one was mine being against you, and the second one is nobody believing you. And it's essentially just turn trauma into a curse that pursues you throughout the movie is what he was going with here.
Which is, I would say kind of what trauma is anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And they, I was watching like a behind the scenes feature thing for this, and they were really like going in on the trauma aspect of it. And then this movie is very upfront about the trauma. Like they outright mention that it's not like subtext or anything in this
No.
movie. It's like straight up
It's
text.
text.
Yeah. Rose is in every single scene of this movie, by the way. There's not a scene without her.
Damn, Sosie.
I know. It's pretty impressive. People spoke really highly of her too. Obviously this is Kevin Bacon's daughter, so she's had some experience.
She got that sizzle.
She got that sizzle. She got that nose.
She
Looks
does.
exactly like Kevin Bacon's
Yeah.
nose. I just always think of Roger from American Dad with the nose.
Oh my god, it's a monster. It's the star of the hit movie Monster.
So it was shot mostly with wide lenses, even on the close-up shots. They did this to allow the environment to breathe a little bit, and you keep your eye on the background. That way, you're just kind of like It Follows, where you're always looking for things.
And
that
I'm gonna
are out
tell
of
you
place.
guys, it was effective because there were a couple of times that Travis paused and rewound the movies. He's like,
Yeah.
"Wait, I'm trying to see. I feel like there's a thing back there."
There was a scene where I thought there was a guy in the windows in the garage across the street just staring. And
It was just a reflection.
I don't think it was a reflection.
It was a reflection.
It was a silhouette.
This
there was
is
something
just
there.
like us playing Paranormal Inc. all over
It
again.
kind of is, yeah. So they lit sets very differently. They wanted them to become or like appear less inviting, and they wanted to make the mundane unnerving, essentially. So with the hospital, they chose the colors pink and blue because they saw a study that pink is the most calming color. So they're like, all right, let's take that and let's make it disturbing. Speaking of the hospital, this was shot during COVID, and COVID had a really big kind of need for hospitals.
What?
So there was a thing that happened.
I don't remember
apparently.
that.
Yeah, apparently hospitals were crazy in demand
What?
in 2020. I don't know.
I
how.
feel like that would have been on the news.
Probably should have been. Well, anyways, they lost their hospital last second because of that, because they couldn't allow them to film.
They
there.
were gonna shoot like on set.
They were gonna
on site. They weren't.
Yeah, they had a
gonna
hospital.
Oh wow.
They shot this in New Jersey, and they wanted this to be like a New Jersey movie. Like they wanted it to feel like that. They were talking about they would see movies that have like ambiguous cities, and like they would shoot it in different cities, so you never really got a feel of like where you are. And they didn't want that to be the case with this one, so they just wanted to, make it very Jersey, and they wanted to shoot in a hospital, but they couldn't. So they ended up having to take the limited budget that they have and build a whole hospital set.
Listen, these guys, these wise guys, did they think they were gonna make a Jersey movie without one Felissa Rose?
She could have been in there. She could have been. She's got one of the creepiest smiles out there.
Yeah.
It's like iconic,
Like, yeah.
Also, that makes Smile Jersey exploitation.
Oh.
The subgenre that we coined on this
Mhm.
the show. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys heard that Zoe meow. I think she also has very strong feelings about Felissa Rose.
Zoe believes that this is a 100% a Jersey exploitation movie.
Yeah. So there are a couple of tells when there's a demon present and not a real person that the wardrobe person was trying to do.
Ooh, I love stuff like this. Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. So it's apparently like the presence of yellow clothing. So that scene when Rose goes to the hospital to confront, I think his name was Carl.
Yeah, Carl.
And the doctor comes in there and rips his face off, like does that and freaks her out. He's got a yellow tie on, but that following scene when she's in the parking lot, he goes out there to talk to her and his tie is green instead.
Oh.
And then there's a scene with Joel where once he's like the demon for her, he has like yellow socks on. And I tried to like keep an eye out for that, but I didn't see it really much with any of the other ones. But maybe it just, I don't know. I think that may have been them trying to do that, and it may not have been achieved on every person that was set dressed.
Well, it might have just been really subtle. So it's
Could
one of
have
those. It's maybe we need to watch for it.
Yeah, I was trying to watch for it whenever because I did all this before I
okay.
even watched the movie with you on last week. Yeah,
Okay. Would you like to know another yellow fact?
sure.
That's Tyra Banks' favorite color.
Wow, I'm so happy for her.
Just
Just
sharing
yellow
knowledge.
facts.
I'm just sharing knowledge.
You want to know another yellow fact? That's the color that Wario is. Yeah. Okay, and the final thing, the monster and Nightmare Mom, that's what they called her. They were 100% practical. They achieved this through puppeteering
Okay.
and actually like constructing that as like a thing that somebody wore as like a costume. So even that scene when the monster climbs into Rose's mouth is all practically shot. They had a dummy of Rose or Sosie Bacon created that the person like they just used a creative perspective and they actually like had it to where they could like extend the jaw and he could kind of like climb inside the mouth there for
Creepy.
a second. But like ripping the face off and it being like the 3 faces or whatever on there, all practical.
I'm picturing like the creepy. I forget what they named the new xenomorph at the end of Romulus.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
picturing like that dude because that was a really tall dude in like a lot
Yeah.
of practical prosthetics and makeup, and I'm picturing a similar kind of situation.
Yeah, it was really impressive. They got another dude here that was very like unique physique to
Okay.
play that role. Yeah. So yeah, that's the fun facts I have for this.
Okay.
All right. So let's do some good, bad, ugly, and absurd. And Jesse, you kick it off. What did you like about Smile?
So I like it, but I'm also sad for the director
Why
for
is that?
this, because you can tell it's written by somebody who actually like really fucking gets it.
Yeah.
Which it's nice to watch a movie and like feel seen. Like if you have like kind of any experience with mental health and trauma, like it's nice to see it done correctly in a way where you're like, oh shit, like maybe we should go do group therapy together or something.
Yeah, it is interesting. I thought it also told like an interesting perspective from like Trevor's side, where like he's having to live with somebody that has like these episodes, and it's like it's hard to like you're trying to help, but like it's hard to help people like when they're like that, and they can't help it
yeah.
because I mean that's just like they're like dealing with some shit that's really not making them mentally well.
And the thing is, I think he could have phrased it in a much more compassionate way to her, but I totally get where he's coming from of like, this is beyond my skill level to manage. This is somebody who has potential to become a danger to herself or others. Like, because he's just thinking about the fact that all their wine glasses gone.
Yeah,
Those are gone. Mr. Mustache
gone,
gone. Rip.
That's rough, yeah.
Like relationship with the sister that Trevor didn't even really want to see, also gone.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
And
So
his fiance gone.
yeah.
He just lost her there.
Yeah. So like I get his perspective. I think he could have had a little bit more compassion, and I'll probably talk about that more as we go through it. Because
Yeah,
I think
there's a
he
scene in
gives up.
particular.
He tries nothing and runs out of ideas. You know what I mean?
He doesn't try nothing. He tries something. We'll talk about it here in a minute,
Mm.
I guess. Well, let's go ahead and talk about it now. I mean, I agree with you that I think that he was really shitty with like the way like I looked up your family and I just want to know what kind of crazy I'm getting hitched to.
That's
that
a
was
problem.
Shitty. That was bad. However, he did try to help by getting her therapist there to try and have like a sit down together. That way they could work it out together.
My problem is he never had like a respectful answer to what she was saying. And I'm not saying that if somebody comes to you with psychotic delusions that you should absolutely endorse them. But there's a way to do it other than being like, do you need to take medication? Like you can be like, hey, it sounds really scary what you feel like is happening. How about we go inside, we talk about this, and maybe we come up with a game plan. That's not necessarily feeding into the delusion, but it's acknowledging like what's happening and then trying to get the person to feel safe and comfortable with you, to be in a safe and comfortable environment.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the right approach. I think if he would have done that in this case, he would have realized, oh, this is not the way to go, because she would have been like, okay,
Yeah.
he's indulging me, he believes me, and then, that's not really, like, you don't want to indulge that whole thing.
And I think also part of the problem is that she never lets her walls down around him, so he has never had to have any kind of emotional strength in their relationship.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's what I mean. Like, he basically tries nothing. Like, he hears this and he goes, you know what? I looked up bipolar. I'm just assuming bipolar. I'm not actually officially diagnosing. Please don't take that as a
In this
diagnosis.
movie?
Yeah.
Schizophrenia.
Well, I don't know. Based off of like, I'm.
That's what they were saying in the thing. They were really heavily, like, they took schizophrenia as one of the...
Oh, I was talking about her mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just kind of based off of some of the things that like Holly and Rose were both saying to each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a different thing.
Yes. Yeah. No. I understand psychotic delusions are a lot more heavily associated with like the schizo disorders.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there's a lot of area in the middle.
Yeah.
From being like, yes, you're definitely being hunted by a demon, to like, hey, I looked up your childhood trauma and I'm going to wield it against you in this moment where you're being emotionally vulnerable with me. Like, there's a place in the middle.
Yeah, there is. There is.
You don't have to acknowledge, like, you don't have to endorse the delusions, but you can acknowledge how they are upsetting to somebody.
Yeah. It's a complex thing.
Yes.
And at least he did try and get help when all else failed. I feel after that, that's when he did give up. Which I think when you do like something like that, and the way that was, I guess, received wasn't so well, and like she basically broke up with him on the spot. There is just like, okay.
Yeah, well, because she was like, you don't actually like me when I'm not being perfect. Like,
Yeah,
she was like, as long as I'm holding it together, you're cool with everything.
The only problem is we don't see their interactions
No.
when they're normal. Like, we only see her pretty much like after that.
And I feel like that's fully intentional because we're supposed to see how she can be completely open with Kyle Gallner's character.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And he's like the only one who like think about the way he reacts to her.
No, yeah, I thought he did a good
Yeah.
job with it. Yeah, he didn't like entertain her right away, but then he looked into it himself and he didn't immediately dismiss it.
Yeah,
And he's
like,
like, okay, whatever. Like,
He
we'll
didn't
say,
necessarily believe and endorse, but he listened and he was like,
he's like, okay, well,
sounds like you're really upset.
Yeah, so if this is a thing, basically, like he was like, well, whatever. Well, yeah.
Please don't take anything we're saying as actual medical advice. I just disclaimer.
Oh, we're
Disclaimer,
just
disclaimer.
We're not providing any medical
No.
advice here. We're just talking about two movie characters.
Yes.
Okay. Well, sorry. What else good do you have to say, or do you have anything else good to say?
I mean, that's one of the biggest things about this movie. And when we first saw the trailers for it, I remember thinking like, oh God, this looks so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And we just kept hearing how good it was. And
Yeah.
when it came to streaming and we watched it, I think we were both like kind of gobsmacked at how completely different it was from our expectations.
This is a thing, and I remembered seeing this when this movie was about to come out, and like I went back and found the thread. But there was a Reddit thread where a guy that is like a friend of Parker, he went on to Dread and he's like, look, this guy, like, I know there's a lot of doubts about this movie because of the premise, but
I remember that.
yeah, like he's like he almost kind of put him on. He's like, he's in his 30s, okay, like, but like, he's a new director in his 30s, but
He's
like
in his 30s. He's never been tested. He's a new director. Premise sounds kind of stupid.
This guy
but
was like,
just trust me.
no, he was like, this guy's green, but what he has going for him, and he's really good at building atmosphere. And after like going back and reading that, I'm like, you know what, this guy kind of nailed it. Like,
Yeah.
if you think of the premise, it's kind of dumb, but when you actually watch the movie and see the execution, it ends up actually working pretty well. Okay, sorry.
All right, what's your goods?
My goods is, I mean, it's that, like, the atmosphere of this movie is so tense. Like, it reminds me of It Follows in The Ring. I mean, especially It Follows. The thing with It Follows that always gets me is, like, you never know.
Mhm.
Like, the sense of that thing following you at all times is fucking terrifying.
And I just kind of want to throw this out there. That is a reality for some people.
Yeah.
Like going back to them drawing heavily on schizophrenia.
It's like a gang stalking thing where people are, like, under the impression that people are, like, after them and just
Yeah.
constantly, like, watching them. And
Like, I can't imagine the absolute exhaustion of just living your life in fear like that and genuinely believing it to be true. Like, regardless if it's not true or whatever, like in our objective reality, for a person's subjective reality to believe that and for it to be absolutely true doesn't make it any less exhausting and fear-inducing.
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Like, to have to deal with that. And, like, not even, like, in this movie, think that it's real and not even think that it's something that you can get treated.
Yeah.
But this movie does a really good job with that. That's like, it's a basic concept, but I think that they nailed it with this. Like, the smiles were really well done too. And like, I think that that's like a really stupid thing to say, but like every one of these people put on a very creepy smile. I think he knew how to like get them to like do it in a way that is just unsettling. Like, it's not like the sinister smile, like somebody's like got the angry eyes, but they're smiling. Like, it's just like this blank, almost,
Yeah.
the only sinister one that I think was really good was the doctor's. When she like switches to the doctor when she gets the phone call from her.
Oh, because that was the Smile entity fucking with her
Dude,
at that point.
That one makes my fucking it gives me
Especially, like-
goosebumps. I've got it right now just thinking about it. That one got me the first time. It gets me every other time I watch this movie.
The one that gets me before that is when she gets the call from the security company and the person on the phone is like, "Are you sure you haven't already let something in, Rose?"
That one is very creepy too. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, that's what this movie does well. It's like that throughout this movie, and it gradually builds.
And we were talking about this as we were watching it. This whole thing takes place over 5 days.
Yeah, it's a 5-day movie.
It is absolutely bonkers how much they escalate things in such a short amount of time in such a like way that draws you in and you're like, this feels like it jumped very quickly. It doesn't feel like it jumps very quickly, but it actually really does.
Yeah, I mean, like the story just developed in a really interesting way, and it was engaging the entire time. There's not a down moment in this movie, and it's not like an action-packed movie. There's not like a lot of like killing and shit going on. It's just like the terror and the dread kind of really carry it all the way through the end. It's not a short movie either. It's almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. What's bad for you?
So there's one point where she is doing an intake assessment for somebody. I think it may have even been Laura, but it could have been Carl. And she pulls one of those big plastic chairs over next to him. And this was this is how you know it wasn't filmed in an actual hospital psych unit.
Okay.
Because those chairs are meant to be super, super heavy, so they can't be thrown and used as a weapon.
Oh.
They got the look of it right, but the fact that she like just went whoosh, like you have to put your back into it to, or maybe it's your legs. I don't know what you do when you push. You lift with your legs, right?
You lift with your legs.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't lift with your back.
I don't know if you push with your legs or your back, but those chairs are heavy, is what I'm trying to say.
If you lift with your back, that's what fucks up your back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just like a little inconsistency there that I noticed that kind of took me out of the moment, but I snapped back into it pretty quickly because I was like, I need to not get hung up on this little thing.
Yeah. For me, I didn't really have much bad to say about this movie, but I mean there were a few occasional cheap jump scares that came out here and there, like when it's Laura, the ghost of Laura or whatever, when she's listening to the recordings and there's like the ghost face that like shows up right beside her and like yells in her ear.
I'm a person, and I've said this before, and I'm sure I will say it again on this show.
Mm-hmm.
I am okay with a jump scare if it's built up and it's used sparingly, and I feel like they were used in a way that they were always effective for me, even if I saw them coming. Like, I still got a jump.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst one. I mean, I'm not like a hater of jump scares in general either, but I felt like in comparison to everything else that we got in this movie, when you go with one of those right there, it just kind of like, come on, guys, I know you guys are better than this. Like, I've seen all the other shit you're doing. You can do something better than that little cheap gag right there. You know, that's really the only thing I could say bad about this movie, though.
Okay.
All right, Ugly.
Ugly, I think I'm gonna touch on some of the social commentary that's coming from this movie. Partially in the way that we do treat people with severe mental illness, just kind of as a whole. Like, think about her sister and brother-in-law talking about like, oh, well, she is just wasting her degree.
That is
and
the
earning
ugly that
potential.
too. Like, why else would you become a doctor? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like, you don't have to like deal with like stinky, sick people all of the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's there to get rich. That's it. You're not there to help anybody. You just want to make money for yourself.
And I think putting Rose, our main protagonist, the person that we're following in literally every scene of this movie, I think putting her in a position that you do see somebody with, say, like paranoid schizophrenia in. Like, that's not a person that is typically widely accepted and understood in society.
Yeah.
It's such a hard disease to treat, and that's why it's so great that they've developed these long-lasting shots, because one of the things, especially with things like schizophrenia, is that you get on the meds, you start to feel good. Once you feel like you're in control, you're like, oh, I don't need the meds anymore.
Yep.
You come off of them, the cycle starts anew. These long-lasting shots are meant to kind of help break some of that cycle, and I think I'm really passionate, obviously, about mental health, and I think the fact that this movie is commenting on how hard it is and how much people feel like they need to hide what they're going through, because that, like, so much of Rose's character is anytime she starts to show any kind of a negative emotion, she immediately goes, nope, sorry, don't know why I said that. What I mean is, and then she'll like put on her little fake smile. And there's even like one scene where she's like shaken up, exhausted. She's been crying and she's just trying to put on like some concealer, and she practices a smile so she can go to her nephew's birthday party. And I think everything that this movie is trying to say in regards to mental health and societal support and understanding and everything, I think that's kind of like an ugly reflection on us as a whole.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I mean, you kind of had mine in there too. I was really upset with that, discussion with Holly and the husband, Greg, I think is his name. I don't know.
Fuck Greg.
Yeah, fuck him. It's really interesting seeing how Holly and Rose handled like the event differently. They came out like split difference.
And I think that was so interesting as well, because at first you're just like, what the fuck is Holly's deal? And then you're like, oh, she is completely like compartmentalizing her trauma.
Well, she also didn't experience it firsthand. She didn't walk in and like walk away from her mom when her mom was calling. No,
she didn't witness her mom's death, but her mom was abusive to both of them.
Yeah,
and that's what she made note of. She was like, I got the brunt of that. Like, yeah, she wasn't there when her mom killed herself. Sorry for the trigger warning, obviously, for this movie, but she did experience a lot of the abuse early on.
Yeah, no, and I'm not denying that. I feel like that's a separate traumatic event.
Yeah.
Because like I saw like the theories, which I don't really know if there's much theory. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. The reason that she is the way she is today is because like she like the whole intro of this movie is she's walking out to leave her office, and
she hears that phone call.
And she can't turn away from the help. Somebody needing help, so she goes in there, and that's what starts this whole thing.
And that's another thing, is that because us as a society don't take mental health as seriously as we should, hospitals are underfunded and understaffed, and maybe Rose wouldn't feel like she had to work 18-hour days and answer the phone after she's supposed to be leaving and all of that.
I think that was just a personal thing on her part. I think that she can't refuse help at this, or to help.
If they had an emergency intake situation, they should be calling the doctor that's on call for that, not one specific doctor who may or may not be there for the day.
Oh yeah, I guess somebody did call her for that. Yeah,
yes, that's the main thing that like really got to me about that. So I think this is also kind of like, that's another nod to like, hey, this country is in a mental health crisis.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then what's absurd?
The fact that Joel makes point of only having one day off for a week, like in a week, and like he's doing police work, but it seems like he's doing like police work for Rose even when he's on the clock.
Yeah.
It just seems like he could just do whatever.
I mean, it doesn't seem like they ask questions, I don't know. I'm not a cop. I don't know what the daily duties of a cop usually is, but I think that he's the detective, I think, or something, because he's like doing a lot of investigating instead of like the general cop work that you typically see. I think you get a little bit more leeway if you're a detective.
Maybe.
I think so.
It seems like maybe they need more detectives if nobody put together this string of people witnessing suicides.
So what we've found out is New Jersey is severely lacking in mental health specialists and detectives.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So get on it.
There are just so many reports of people witnessing horrific suicides that like they don't even bother to see if there's any like commonalities in them.
My absurd thing is the degree of trauma that fucking nephew gets throughout this movie.
Oh my god.
And it almost becomes funny to me, and it shouldn't, but like the cat is so fucking traumatic.
That's traumatic, but then later, like,
when he sees her breaking down in the car, and then it just slow pans to the kid watching from his bedroom window. He's just like, oh, it's just so fucking funny. It's a funny shot.
Best dark humor this decade. Yeah. Like, it's so dark, but you're right.
I feel like it's funny.
Yeah,
it makes me like it gives me joy for some reason seeing this kid experience that shit right there. Okay, what do you rate this?
9.
Okay, yeah, I'd give it a 9.5.
Okay,
I think that this is a really strong movie.
It really is.
Like, yeah, it has no right to be a 9.5. But
it really is, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it spoiler for whenever we eventually cover it, I think the second one absolutely holds the fuck up to this.
Yeah, I'm super curious for the third.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's get on into it. Okay. So we start off with the mom dead on her bed. And
She
there's
is
pills-
surrounded by pill bottles, booze, general mess, family photos. Oh, and one of the young girls from those family photos.
Yeah. We don't know who it is yet, but there's a kid standing there watching it all.
But we're assuming it's who this now woman is that wakes
Yeah.
up in her office to her phone ringing. She has got to come in. She's got to do an intake assessment for a man talking to himself. And she scooches over and she talks to him. She's like, "Hey, Carl, I hear what you're saying, and I feel like maybe you're having a manic episode, and maybe we just need to take care of you a little bit."
Yeah, poor Carl. I kind of feel bad for him in this movie.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think like if we didn't have this general stereotype of like, bipolar, schizophrenia, they're crazy, they're
He's fucking
whatever.
going through it
like,
here.
yeah, he's like, God, most people that have that type of opinion don't know the type of strength it takes to survive that shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, after she treats him, she's back in her
Yeah.
office and she's getting ready. She leaves her office for the day, but as she walks out the door, the phone rings.
Well, here's the thing. This was a little throwaway line, but I feel like it's important to that overarching message. So he calls her up there. His name's Morgan. He's her boss and he's the department head. And he is like, "Hey, did you send that patient without insurance to the residency program?" And she's like, "Yeah, she has substance abuse and needed treatment." And he goes, "Well, we can't do that because we lose money on it." She goes, "Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think we were for profit. I thought we were here to help people." And he goes, "I'm on your side. I just need to know so I can get ahead of it next time." He's like, "Also, you haven't been here since last night, have you?" And she's like, "No."
Yeah.
And so he's basically like, "You need to go home." And so she's about to leave, grabs her stuff, turns off the lights. The phone rings again, rings a third time. She comes back in and she answers.
Yep. And it's Laura.
Mhm.
It's a patient. She saw her professor bludgeon himself with the hammer.
Yeah.
And she was the only witness to it, apparently.
And they say that it's an unrelated incident. They brought her in today because she was acting as a public menace. And they said she had that separate event a few days ago. Definitely unrelated.
Yeah.
Absolutely could in no way be related to the fact that she watched her professor stick a claw hammer in his face several times.
Some horrifically traumatic shit. Yeah.
So
Yep.
she tells Rose that she sees people that nobody else can. And sometimes they're strangers and sometimes they're familiar faces. And then it smiles and the smile is scary and then it makes things happen around her.
And today, apparently, is the day that told her that she's going to die.
And when Rose, kind of starts to do her doctor spiel, she's like, "You don't believe me." She's like, "You're not listening to me. You are not listening to what I'm saying." And then she screams and she backs up and then she starts kind of like convulsing on the floor. So Rose calls in a 50-51 patient emergency. Is that what it was? No, she uses 50-51 later.
I don't know. She just calls for security or whatever to come get her, like restrain her.
Yeah. But before they can get there, Laura is smiling at Rose, and then she cuts her throat with a piece of ceramic that fell on the floor. That's another bit. Like, I get that they needed that for.
You don't think they'd have a vase in there? It was
No.
a vase like it was knocked over.
A ceramic one like that
Yeah.
could so easily be turned into a weapon? Absolutely not.
Okay.
No. Not in emergency psych intake.
Makes you think.
So the cops are questioning Rose. They are not super sympathetic about it. Joel's keeping mostly
He's
quiet.
being like a peacekeeper here. He's like, "So she was crazy, right? She was a fucking loony." And Joel's like, "I think what he's trying to say is, what was the state of her mental health during this?"
And then like the other detective's basically going like, "Cuckoo,
Yeah.
cuckoo."
The guy's being a
And-
fucking dick, especially at like a mental health hospital.
Yeah.
Like, don't bring that attitude.
Rose gets home. Her cat's happy to see her. That's nice.
Mustache.
We're gonna hold on to Mr. Mustache while we can.
Yeah.
She showers. She pours herself some wine in a stemless glass because she's a modern lady. But then she sees Laura smiling in the shadows and she is freaked out. And then A-Train arrives really fast because that's his thing. And she drops her glass and he's like, whoa, are you okay? And she's like, oh, you know, I had a patient die in front of me today. And then he hugs her and he offers to skip dinner. And she's like, no, they already got a babysitter.
I think he really was like, this is my out right here.
Yes.
I don't have to go see Holly and Greg. Let's just stay home. Let's not go out and go to dinner.
And that's what I mean. Like, he's kind of like halfway sympathetic, but it's because he knows that Rose is doing all of the emotional work for herself. So he doesn't really have to do any of that heavy lifting in their relationship. Like, he's like, oh man, I'm really sorry. Oh, hey, what if we skip dinner? That's more for me than it is for you, but what if we skip dinner?
I think that there's nothing bad with that. I don't think he was doing a bad job here. I think he was doing good. I think he was. Maybe I'm a bad husband, but I don't know. I thought that he wasn't doing the worst.
I don't
here.
think you would do that, and I think if you did something like that, I'd call you out on it.
What, you like break a glass and you're like a little bit zoned out after telling me that you saw somebody die in front of you? I'm like, okay, do you maybe not want to go to dinner tonight? You know, like I don't think that's.
If you thought I wouldn't want to see my sister.
I don't know. It's a different family dynamic here. You know what I mean? I think that the relationship between the two is strained, and I think that that's apparent here.
Yeah, we pan to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And Holly is talking about just how busy she is with Jackson's schedule, her Pilates. Like, she doesn't have time for Pilates anymore.
Oh my god. Jesus.
And she's just kind of going on and on, and then she asks if Rose will be at the birthday party. And she's
what
like,
birthday party?
yeah. She's like, I've told you about this a million times. It's on Saturday. She goes, I have to work. And she goes, who works on a Saturday? She goes, people that work at hospitals, Holly.
Yeah.
That's how hospitals work. And then they're like, well, you should quit that, open a private practice, get that money. Also, can we sell Mom's dilapidated house and maybe get some money for that too? Sell the land?
God, they had I think that they brought them out to dinner just to talk about this.
Yeah, like maybe they do this like once every few months.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's like, let's get out of this dinner. This is your out right here. You like somebody killed themselves right in front of you. You've got it.
All right, so we cut to Rose at work the next day. She's got a smiley face mug.
Oh, I didn't catch
I've
that.
been looking for like little things throughout this watch of the different instances of the smile, and that one was probably my favorite little one.
That's cool.
The little
I didn't
smiley
catch
face.
That. Yeah, she asks one of the nurses there for information on Laura's previous incident.
And Joel is there, and he's like, "Oh, I was on a call nearby, so I thought I'd come here because nobody tracks what I do on my work day. And I just wanted to apologize for things being awkward yesterday." And she was like, "Why are you here?" And he goes, "Well, because I'm a detective and it's my job." She goes, "No, why are you here now? This is not your job. You just said that you were on a call nearby."
Yeah, there's history between the two of them.
So she is reading Laura's witness statement in her office, and then Holly calls her to apologize, and her and Rose kind of talk back and forth, and she tells her that Jackson's really into electric model trains right now, so, you know, that's something to consider.
Mm-hmm.
She passes Carl's room.
Ooh, Carl's got a creepy smile here.
Yeah.
He's just sitting on his bed at the edge of the bed, just smiling into the hallway.
And she goes in to check on him because she thinks maybe he's like catatonic or having an absence seizure or something. And then he goes, "You're going to die. You're going to die.
You're going to die." He's got the voice of a comedian.
Yeah. And then she calls for help restraining him. And man, those aides, like, boom.
I've been looking for a reason to get fucking Carl. He keeps telling me I'm going to die. I'm not going to die, Carl.
But they get there and Carl is just like,
he's laying on his bed.
He's chilling.
Yeah. So that was like a delusion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That was the monster getting to her.
And Morgan calls her into the office like, "What the fuck was that about? Carl has never hurt anybody." Like,
She's like, "You've been treating Carl." He's like, "You've been treating Carl for years and he's not violent ever." He's like, "You need to take a paid week off." And then he says something that I think more people didn't take notice of. You can't take care of other people if you're not taking care of yourself.
True. Very true.
And it's something that I am working really hard on my own life to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that he makes her take this week minimum. Wish he would do more, but probably can't spare her for more than a week.
So, like, after this right here, I mistook what was happening here because, like, we cut to her stopping at a hobby store, getting a train. I'm like, oh, she's going to take up, like, painting model trains. Good for her. Good for you, Rose. And then, like, we cut to her back at her house wrapping up in the birthday. I'm like, oh, it's just for a little fucking traumatized nephew over here.
I love that your idea of how the second half of this movie goes is that Rose just gets really into model trains.
You know, it could have been the light. It could have really helped right here.
So she's drinking some wine and she's wrapping it, and then her security alarm goes off. She drops her glass and she grabs some scissors and she's checking the door. The front door is fine, so she deactivates the alarm. But when she gets back into the living room, that door's open.
Yeah.
She gets a call from the security company, and they're checking to see if she's alone in the house, and she's like, I think so. And that's when the
Woman
operator says, Are you sure you didn't let anything in? And then the phone rings again.
No, she's like, look behind you. And then she like slowly turns behind her and it's the phone there. Like
Yeah.
still on the stand. Oof. Yeah, and it rings again and then she answers it and it's the dispatch, but this time it's the real deal.
Yeah, so the cops get there, they do a sweep and it's all clear, and they are fairly dismissive of it. They're like, it's clear, lady. In like there have been plenty of shows that we've watched, like true crime stuff where the cops come and they do a sweep, but it's not thorough enough, and the stalker person is like tucked right there, tucked right away.
Exhibit A, Halloween H2O.
Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt did a sweep of the house, and Michael Myers is still there. He died.
And then, Trevor pulls up while this is happening, and he's kind of like, hey, what's
Dude,
up?
He stumbled up, like, there were like 10 fucking cop
Looked
cars
like
outside
an
his
active
house.
crime scene.
Yeah, and he's a little bit too chill about it here. He's like, yeah, so like, what's happening here? Like, what's going on?
It's like, hey, is this a party?
Yeah, and she's like,
The alarm went off, and he goes, why was it set? And she was like, because I live in the middle of nowhere, and it's scary, all right? No,
New Jersey.
she actually says, I don't remember setting it.
yeah.
Which I don't think that's too wild. Like, people do stuff out of muscle memory.
I
all
do
the
that
time.
all the time.
Yeah.
I lock you out of the house so
Yes,
many
you
times.
do.
Yeah.
At least
If
once a
we-
week, I'm locked out of the house.
If we had a security system, I would lock you out of the house and have security on your ass
yeah,
every
I was
day.
gonna say that I would be in Trevor's position for sure at some point. Like, I'd be like, why are all these cops here?
Yeah. Oh, and mustache is missing.
Yeah. And on top of everything, she can't find her kitty cat, and she's so like she can't even listen to Trevor talk about whatever he's talking about. She's like, have you seen Mustache? He's not coming for food.
Yeah. And we get shots of her like doing a little like jingle some food outside, calling his name. But he
And then-
doesn't come.
She comes in and goes, did you bring another glass?
Yeah.
So Rose wakes from her mom nightmare once again, and she listens to it's the middle of the night, so she listens to the interview tape with Laura, and she hears something being whispered. So she goes back several times to listen to it, and it's her name being whispered, and that's where we get that jump scare that you were mentioning before.
Yeah.
And she freaks out. She grabs some scissors from the butcher block on their counter, and Trevor comes out and he's like trying to calm her down, but we don't even see how she eventually calms down, but she's like freaked out.
Yeah. So the next day we see she's meeting with her therapist.
Mhm. She does this thing where she's like basically diagnosing herself. She's pulling all of the like therapy speak on herself. She's like, I understand. I witnessed this suicide and I drew parallels to my mother's own suicide. But what I'm really here for is a prescription for Risperdal. And her therapist is like, what? And she was like,
yeah, let's not do that.
yeah. She was like, no, it's just like I'm seeing things, but it's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's just stress. It's just stress induced. And she was like, let's maybe schedule some more appointments. Let's start doing this regularly again and talking about things. Let's not self-diagnose. How's
Yeah.
that sound?
And also meds, let's wait at least a week until we
Mhm.
give you any of them.
Yeah, and she's like, honestly, you don't like sitting here talking to you. You don't seem psychotic.
No.
So-
yeah. So we're now at the nephew's birthday party. He is opening his presents.
Oh.
And it's time to open Rose's presents. And he finds Mustache's body inside the present.
This is such a hard scene to watch because Rose immediately like loses it because she realizes that she's lost her cat. She realizes that she is completely losing her grip.
Yeah, and now she thinks everybody thinks that she's a cat killer.
Yeah.
And like puts it in her nephew's present.
And she's so distraught at both of these things happening at once and getting this judgment from people who don't understand. She backs up and falls into a glass table, and then like her arms are just tore up.
That's excessive. The fact like they're like, I'm gonna take this character, I'm gonna make her do this, and she's gonna fall through a glass table. Like,
Yeah,
damn.
Man,
Parker
this guy
Finn.
said, Parker Finn said, fuck
Yeah,
Rose.
fuck this girl.
Man, I bet he watched Titanic growing up, and he was like, after all that, that old bitch is just gonna throw that diamond into the ocean. Fuck Rose.
Yeah, this Rose. Trevor should have been Leo then. I don't know his name in the movie.
Jack.
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We got Joel. we'll take it.
Jack could be a nickname for Joel.
Sure. I'll allow it.
It's a nickname for John, and that makes less sense.
I've never heard that.
It is.
So she also sees like a lady smiling at her there.
One of the moms.
Yeah.
So Morgan comes to check on Rose while she's in the ER, and he's like, I like him as a boss because he seems like he actually genuinely cares about her as a person.
That's still kind of crazy that the boss comes out to check on an employee in the emergency room, even if they're not like, you know, they don't seem to be like friends outside of work.
Yeah, but she's at work. She's
It's a
there as a
different hospital.
patient. No, it's the same hospital.
No, I thought she was at like the ER or something because she fell through a table.
No, she works in the ER at the hospital, just like the psych unit.
Oh, I thought it was like its own mental hospital. Oh, okay. Well, that's different then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you like look when they're like in the hospital parking lot later, you can see signs for like general ER, psych eval, like things like that.
Okay. Well, she's there. She sees Trevor and Holly arguing out in the hallway.
Yeah, and Morgan is like, "Hey, are you okay? I just want to check on you." And she starts to say something, and she goes, "Fine."
Nope. So in the car ride back to home, she's with Trevor, and she tells Trevor pretty much everything that she's experiencing.
Mhm.
And he does not take it well.
Yeah, he's like, "I can't do this."
Yep. He's like, you have inherited your parents' mental illness. I can't do that. I can't be hitched to that type of shit.
Shit, man.
And then we cut to him sleeping on the couch, and Rose is in her bed, and she's looking up the location of the college that the professor that killed himself,
Professor
worked at.
Muniz.
Mm-hmm.
Munoz.
And she tries to go to sleep, but then like it's just like her mom is there in the hallway talking at her the entire time.
So she visits the late Professor Munez's wife, who talks about how he had changes right before his death. And she shows her his studio where he did like a lot of drawings and paintings of what it was he was seeing, which were like all of the different demon
Variations.
iterations, one of them being his brother who had died several years beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she said that Gabrielle saw someone kill herself. And this gets Rose's attention. She's like, wait, what happened? Like, I need to know everything. And then as soon as she realizes that Rose believes that all of this is real and not that Gabrielle was just really sick, like, she tells her to get the fuck out of her house.
Yeah, she was under like the guise of like being a reporter or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So Rose pays a visit to Joel and asks him to look up other reports on Munez. And there was one from a week before his death where he was a witness to a woman named Angela Powell who committed suicide. Angela Powell, if you guys haven't seen this movie, she also saw somebody else commit suicide. And they actually have the security camera footage of what happened. And this dude at a gas station, like, you see him, he's just like doing normal gas station things, and all of a sudden he's like, boom. And he goes over to like a landscaping truck and takes out some head shears and like looks at Angela, and he's like, hey Angela, I don't know your name, but we're in Jersey, there's a good chance that you're Angela. Hey Angela.
Angela Baker.
And then just
Yep.
So Rose asked Joel for printouts, and he's like, what? He's like, you know, the nacho skit, and I think you should leave. Like, that's what? Joel the whole time.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's like looking at further cases there too, and he finds the image of one of them. I think it was that woman's murder or suicide, and she like insists to like look at it, and she basically just like gouged her eyes out and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
So at home, Trevor's there with the therapist,
Mhm.
and she fights with him and calls him on his shit. And then she's like, I'm going to go talk to Holly. I'm going to go talk to my sister.
That'll be better.
Yeah,
That'll be
she
a
was-
much better conversation.
She was like, it's way unethical for you to just show up here, Dr. Therapist. I didn't write down her therapist's name. Northcutt? Something like that?
Northcott.
Northcott.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's like, it's way unprofessional for you to be here. Trevor, we're done.
Is that really like a bad thing? Like to like have like a intervention type thing? Like my wife is like really, or my fiance is like really having some crazy psychotic episodes, and I think that I need somebody that's better equipped to deal with this present.
I don't know. I never finished my counseling degree, so I don't know if that would cross the ethical boundaries or not.
I think to me,
I think it's iffy.
I think that that's probably a good way to handle that. As somebody that's not a psychiatrist, I'm sorry.
So she gets to Holly's house, and she is doing a shit job of explaining everything.
I mean, she's being upfront about it all. She's just sounding like she.
No, because she's starting in the middle. She's like, all of these people have seen each other kill each other or kill themselves. And
she started off with Holly's like, I'm cursed. Like,
Yeah.
I'm cursed. And like, yeah, you don't start there. Like you slow build.
Yeah, you do the story as we have watched it unfold in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like start from scene one.
But Holly, she's explaining what the fuck is this?
Basically-
Oh, she's explaining the trail to Holly, and Holly is like, you are breaking down. You are having the exact same kind of breakdown that Mom had.
Mhm.
And she's like, I can't be around you like this. I had to get away from Mom. I cannot be around this type of behavior, and I will not let you be around Jackson with this type of behavior. Do you realize how messed up he is?
He's traumatized for life because of that fucking stunt that you pulled.
So Rose goes back to her car, and she's sitting there trying to collect herself, and Holly comes back out. And then it's not really Holly.
Mhm.
It does this. It kind of looks like our little clown guy over there with his broken neck. That's essentially what happens.
There's a scare that we saw in a movie on Shudder. It's a Shudder exclusive. I can't remember the name of it, but it was that Spanish horror movie, which had like ghosts in it too. That had a very similar jump scare to
Was
this
it-
right here.
No, not possession.
You know what I'm talking about, though,
Yes.
right? Where like the woman runs to the car with her head upside down, just like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like I just think of that every time I see this scene. What I don't know the movie.
That's going to
so-
drive me crazy that I can't think of the name.
It's something that I feel like could easily be confused for another movie.
yes, because it does have a very similar name to another movie.
Yeah.
And that's why.
You almost got it.
Is it? No. It's
Hmm.
not The Terrified.
No, yeah, you're right.
Is it? Is it?
Terrified.
Okay,
Terrified
okay.
That's what it's called. I'm
Okay.
glad that you remember that.
I was like, no, because it's very similar to something of a completely different tone.
Well, anyways, she has a breakdown because of this, and
Yeah.
poor old nephew sees it from his bedroom up there.
I don't know why, but every time I see this kid on the screen, I just think Nicolaj.
He has Nicolaj.
He's got
vibes.
Nicolaj energy.
Nicolaj.
Nicolaj.
So Joel calls her,
Mm-hmm.
and he has found 20 related cases. One of a guy who killed to survive.
Yes, and that was the only change in the pattern. But right after that, it went back to how it was. And she was like, cool, let's go talk to this guy. And so he takes her to the prison and basically like does a little cop to cop, like, hey, we're just going to like gently violate his rights.
Also, on the trip up, this is where Joel kind of like, she tells Joel everything and he kind of accepts it. And they mention like none of them have survived past a week. And Rose is currently on day 4.
Yeah, I don't know how much he like fully believes, but he thinks something's going on for sure.
Yeah, he thinks it's like a cult type thing, probably.
Yes, like he's open to something happening. Not sure about the curse part, but like he's like something fishy is happening.
Yeah.
Something's rotten in the state of Denmark.
Yeah, Jersey. All right, so yeah, now at the prison. we know what to
Yes,
do.
yeah. Cop to cop, they're like, we can violate his rights for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. So they get back there, and the guy's like, listen, I will talk to Rose and Rose alone. Get the cop out of here.
Respect.
Yeah. And he's like, listen, what you gotta do is you just gotta you gotta kill somebody, and it's gotta be in front of somebody else. It's gotta be as fucked up as possible. And Rose has told him that this was for a patient of hers.
Yeah, he's like, it feeds off of trauma. So you have to cause trauma on somebody else. Somebody else has to be present.
And he starts giving all like ideas of how to make it as fucked up as possible. And she's like, I can't kill somebody. And he goes, oh, it's you? Why the fuck are you here? I got away from it. You need to get away from me.
Dude,
I get it.
Turn around.
Yeah.
And just, walk away. Like you don't have to look at her here. If you don't look at it, you don't see it, you don't get affected. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Rose is back at home.
No, I think it's... So it ends with him like yelling at her, screaming at her, guards running in, and Joel asks what happened, and Rose is like, nothing. And I just think that's important thematically for Rose's character. Like, all this kind of shit happens, and she just will not share that with anybody. And the one time she does, when she's talking about this curse, nobody believes her. And it's just important to note.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, she gets home. She gets a call from Dr. Northcott. And she gets a text from Trevor, and she's kind of ghosting them both. But then the doc rings her doorbell and was like, hey, kind of a not cool stunt I pulled before, but I do need to come in and have you convince me you're not a danger, because you and I both know how mandatory reporting works, even in Jersey. And so she's like, okay, fine, come on in. And she says basically that she feels like it was a mistake to confide in Trevor and that she should have known he wouldn't believe her. And then, interestingly, she gets a call from Dr. Northcott.
I like that the doctor is like, well, it's just like a blank phone call.
Yeah, it's just
she's
ringing,
like,
and she's like, don't you want to answer that?
Like, you should probably get that. Yeah. And then she does, and it's Dr. Northcott's like, yeah, so like, I'm really sorry. And just basically like the conversation from before. And that fucking smile, that, oh my God, it's so fucking creepy.
Time.
Man, that's one thing I think that if they would have maybe undone the like demon voice, I feel like the demon voice is a little bit too much. It's almost borderline truth or dare-ish right there. Yeah.
So Rose goes to the hospital with a knife up her sleeve. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally up her sleeve. And she goes to Carl's room. Why Carl?
Why Carl? I don't fucking know. Like, there could be, like, more violent people there, probably. She wanted somebody that wouldn't fight back, basically.
Yeah, well, and he starts panicking, and Morgan comes by, and he's like, hey, you're not supposed to be here right now. And then she makes sure that he's looking, and then she stabs Carl, and Carl's like, why? And Morgan's like, why? And then they start, like, ripping themselves open.
Carl starts cycle. Was Carl a demon, too? I think she actually killed Carl, didn't she?
No, because she never actually got out of her car.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then Morgan, like, rips his face off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She wakes up in her car, and the real Morgan is there, and he's like, hey, are you okay? Sees the knife in the front seat. He's like, how about you come in with me?
Yeah.
Like, and he, like, really tries to do it in a way where he's like...
It's pretty obvious. He's panicked a little bit. He's like,
yeah.
Come in here. Come hang out. Yeah.
And
we want you to go, but actually, come here. Come stay.
And she drives off, and he is calling into the cops, like, as she's driving off.
Yeah.
And she goes to... Because she realizes she has an epiphany in this moment that she just can't have any witnesses around her.
Yeah.
So she goes to the source of all her trauma, which will surely not feed into the trauma demon. And she goes to her mom's house. Mm-hmm. Joel calls when she gets there, and he's like, hey, there is an APB out on you. So what's up? And she's like, I have to be alone, and then I won't pass it down the chain, and I'm not going to tell you where I'm going. And fortunately for me, we had a past relationship, and I'm denying the fact that I ever got closer to you than I've gotten to anybody else, so you won't be able to figure out where I went.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So she flashes back to her mom's suicide, and like what you said before, her... closing the door on her mom, thinking that it's another one of her mom over-dramatizing.
No, I think that she made a conscious decision. She even admits to it here. Like, I let you die because I was scared of you. That's what she says.
I just don't think it was that simple, especially for her at that age.
Maybe. But
the thing is, we'll never know.
Right here
and
the
point is that Rose puts all of that blame on herself either way.
Yeah.
That's the main point.
That's why she does
it.
what she does for a living.
She finds a kerosene lantern and battens the hatches. And of course, the thing appears and it presents as her mom crying on the bed, accusing her of not calling for help. And then she says that her mind is so inviting.
Yeah.
And then the thing grows and starts following her through the house.
Oh, mommy monster's scary.
Yeah, and she says, you can't escape your own mind. And then Rose is like, well, neither can you.
Yeah, bashes mommy monster in the head with a lantern. And this ignites mommy monster and just basically like
I am not loving the phrase mommy
I
monster.
love Mommy Monster. I love that title.
I am uncomfortable.
So mommy monster, anyways, she just goes up in flames and she burns to death. And Rose exits the house, and the house burns. And she thinks she's done it.
Listen, all we are missing to know that this is a false happy ending is the
Just like it, yeah. Ray of sunshine, birds chirping. Yeah, she drives home and she thinks that she's done it.
She doesn't drive home. She drives to Joel's apartment.
Oh yeah, she drives to
And
Joel's
she's
apartment.
like,
yeah.
listen, you're the only person I've ever been honest with, and that's really cool, but I don't like having my walls down, so I was kind of a shit to you, and I'm really sorry about that. I'm sorry for all of the emotional labor I've put on you the past 2 days, and I'm sorry that I'm about to ask this, but can I sleep here? And also, will you watch me fall asleep?
He's like, yes.
He's like, this is all I've ever wanted.
Yes.
And
Till one day off.
then she realizes that she's still in the front yard of her house.
Yeah. Well, Joel turns into the smile demon and chases her out of the door, and she walks out of Joel's door and then walks out of the childhood home instead. And holy shit, that's a mind fuck right there. That's got to be so deflating.
And it's still standing. It hasn't burnt down like she thought it had. And Joel arrives, and he's actually real. He is for really real.
Mhm.
And she's like, oh my God, you can't be here. And she locks him out. And the thing comes for her. And
Mommy Monster comes back.
Mommy Monster stops being Mommy Monster because it peels back the skin and is just like smiles all the way down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, you know how like sharks have rows and rows and rows of teeth?
It's got rows and rows
That-
of face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
and,
like to imagine each face is like a face of one of the ones it's absorbed.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
That's how I picture it. Maybe we need to, when we watch the second one, like we need to compare the number of mouths.
It's a bigger creature.
Yeah.
By the time it's in the second one.
I want to count. There should be at least 19 mouths in this one.
In this one, yeah.
And we need to count how many are in Smile 2.
Okay, that's gonna be a tough task.
It's not really. We just have to like pause it and count. I understand you're an accountant, and so that might be tricky for you, but I know how to count at least to 20.
Well, thank God one of us does. Anyways, the demon crawls into Rose's mouth at this point.
Does it crawl in or does it like step in?
It crawls in.
Okay.
It like pries open. Like
For
that,
some
goes
reason,
in
I'm picturing it
headfirst.
like prying in and then like.
No.
ding, ding, ding.
No, I
That's
didn't do
how
that.
that's how I would do it if I was the demon.
Well, that's you. Okay.
That's how I put on a dress in the morning. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's the same thing, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. Well, Joel busts down the door and he runs in looking for Rose.
yeah. So we've explained how Rose actually dies, but what Joel sees, because he can't see the monster yet.
I think this is how Rose actually dies. She just is possessed instead.
Oh yeah, we saw the possession.
Yeah.
That's right. And he busts in and he sees Rose covered in kerosene
Yep.
and with a box of matches.
And she lights herself on fire, and he knows it's happening to me right now. He knows that he is fucked.
I like how it ends not on a direct shot of Rose burning, but on
Like
Joel's
us watching him
face.
watch
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And his like face
Yeah.
during the entire time. He's like, God, this person is dying in front of me, but also this means that I'm in some shit.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good acting on his part.
Yeah, he did a great job. They all did a great job.
Yeah,
in
this movie, there's no weak performance.
And that's how the movie ends.
Dude, you know what? You're right. 9.5.
Okay. Well, my change would be the tone down the jump scare and tone down the demon voice. You know, make it like a real person-ish. I think that's more sinister than fake demon filters thrown on.
Make the emergency psych eval intake room realistic.
Okay. I was gonna
That's
say that's
fine.
really only specific to like people like you, but this is your input here, so it's
my
valid.
input, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said with this movie, this feels like a movie for people who like can really get it, and I feel like those details matter.
That's true. That's true.
So Talia was really fucked up by this movie.
Scary
This
movie.
scared her so bad. She was barking. She was licking between us. She went and she was like, "I need my emotional support fan right now." And when the evil doc came to the house, Talia started barking.
Yeah,
She knew it was the
actually
demon.
did.
She
yeah.
knew. She was like barking at the whole time. She was like, "Rose, don't let her in."
Well, yellow is one of the few colors she can see. Yeah, so she's like,
Maybe she did catch it. And
Maybe.
she's like,
maybe.
And so I think Talia's gonna give this a 10.
Ooh, she was
locked
scared.
in, yeah.
Zoe's Ultimate Warrior. I mean, do we need to say it's fucking mommy monster?
That's because that's how Zoe acts when she wants to be fed in the morning.
Yeah,
Like,
she's a mommy monster. She like gets up in your face and pins you down. It's like, all right, feed me.
Yeah.
Except
Okay.
in this case, it gets in the mouth, but she wants you to put something in her mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, who did you relate to?
I hate to say it, but I feel like I related to Rose in a lot of ways. Took my trauma and tried to turn that into a couple different psychology degrees. I have a real bad habit of saying I'm okay when I'm not okay.
Yeah,
There's an unfortunate amount of things I can relate to. I don't have a cat named Mustache, but we do have a cat with a mustache.
yeah. We
So-
did have we have a mustache cat around here.
Mhm.
Man, I don't know. I don't know who I relate to in this. I've stepped up for Trevor a couple of times here. You know what?
You're better than Trevor.
I don't think Trevor did that bad. He had some shitty moments. I will give you that. I just don't think that Trevor was that bad of a person.
I don't think he was terrible, but I also don't think I think he had a lot of maturing to do.
If you had a episode or crisis like she was having, I would probably do the same thing and get like professional help.
I would hope that you would be more empathetic towards me first.
I would be more. I'm a mixture of Joel and Trevor there. I would be more sympathetic for you, and I would try to. I wouldn't tell you you're crazy or full of shit or that you're fucked or anything like that. But I would try and get you the help and be comforting.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, get me the help that you think I need, but also don't be an ass about it.
Okay, I'm gonna blend them. I'm
Jorver?
Joel Ever. Sounds like a fucking porn name.
Tinges.
I'm Joel Ever.
You got rid of the more important half of the name.
Okay. Well.
Okay. What would
Jesus,
Dom
dude.
do?
What would Dom do here?
If you guys want WWDD bracelets, let us know, and we'll see if we can make that merge happen.
Yeah. What? Jeez, how? Dom can't outdrive this fucking thing. He can't drive away from mental health.
Dude, no, listen.
He's like,
He
you know
would
what?
challenge it to a race, and then he'd just be staring the demon down, like they do.
Yeah.
And then the demon will see the absolute singular focus in Dom's mind, and it will self-implode.
I'm just picturing. That's perfect, actually. I think that would. That's a good way for him to do something. I'm just picturing a scene of him in the garage, and somebody's like, "Don't you see that it smiles at you all the time?" He's like, "When I'm in the garage, everybody's smiling.
You'd be like, listen,
Everybody smiles in the garage."
I watched my dad die and it was trauma, but I found family after that. So my family, my love for my family is stronger than my trauma. And the monster would be like, oh, fuck.
He also has, John Cena in a fucking tech advanced jet that can just pick him up. But then again, it could be a delusion, and then he winds up he's just in his garage instead.
No,
maybe the Fast and Furious movies have been a delusion this entire time.
No. What we find out is that he thinks that his brother has gone on to become a wrestler who was like a baby face for several decades and then all of a sudden had a heel turn, and Dom's like, no, what are you doing? And it turns out the heel turn was actually
It's all in his head. It was all like a fuck with him. Yeah. Oh my god.
it was the monster messing with him.
Man. It's just John Cena smiling.
At the end, we just see John Cena like hugging the monster, and he's just.
It's like a similar shot to like Joel looking at John Cena. We just see like Vin Diesel's face, like in like terror.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Well.
New tagline.
Tagline. This is tough.
It'll turn your frown and your world upside down.
That sounds like something from a trailer. That does sound like something from a trailer. This is tough. We're treating this as a live episode, so I can't really.
Yeah, you can't do the normal
Yeah. Say cheese.
No.
Just so quick to dismiss it.
That's for pictures.
From the people who brought you Joel Ever.
There were more than one of you to come up with that?
Yeah. Takes two people to make Joel Ever, Joel and Trevor. I've been called Trevor plenty of times in my life.
You have. That's the number one name people go to when they can't remember your real name. The second one is Tyler.
Yep, it's true. Whatever, man. We'll just go with yours. I can't do this shit on the live thing here.
It's too much pressure.
It's too much pressure, yeah.
Okay.
Unless we have an immediate, like, fucking yeah. Like, we're going to be sitting here way too long thinking about this.
Okay.
Dream sequel, though.
Dream sequel. Oh, man.
I love what they did with the
I
sequel
do
of this movie. I thought that was like a fantastic way to take it.
Because some of the things that it did really well was it did not re-explain everything to us. Like, we cut to the one guy telling her, like...
Let's not spoil any of the sequel stuff for people who may not have seen it.
Yeah, and it picks up right where this one leaves off. And it deals with more mental health stuff, this time talking a lot about substance abuse, but also talking a lot about, like, some of her own suicidal ideation, which I think is super relevant.
Well, then, yeah, I guess you can take, like, another thing like that, like a health epidemic or whatever, a mental health epidemic, and, you know, I don't know, there's all kinds of, like, mental health disorders out there that...
This is really sad, and this is going to really fuck me up to say this out loud, but, like, I think another thing that tends to not be super well understood is, like, dementia or neurocognitive disease.
Oh my god, dude, seeing like
that makes me feel really sad to think about that movie existing, but
that's, you know what, you're right, that'd be very upsetting, but like the whole
that
thing
would be, like, people wouldn't believe the person.
Well, you don't, I think even like you could touch on like how distorted things are, like, you know, it doesn't even look like a smile at you anymore, as it like progresses throughout the movie.
And then, like, maybe, oh god, this is fucking me up to say this, maybe have like some actual real delusions and confusion mixed in there with the demon. Yeah, I know, this is a bummer. This is the worst thing I've ever said.
No, this is actually, I think that like it's a very dark idea, but I think that it touches at like the heart of like what they're getting at with this is like, you know, taking that type of stuff serious. And I think that it would be an effective story. It would be a sad story, but I think it would be a really good one.
And I think it all comes back to what you said about him being afraid of being betrayed by his own mind and not being believed by other people. And that is, in an essence, that's what mental health is.
Well, yeah, okay. I think that would be a good sequel. It would be a good sequel. It would just be a very, very sad and disturbing one.
I say mental health, mental illness. But...
Yeah, same. I got you. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, how's about we move on over to some reviews?
Okay, if you're ready.
I am going through my William Shatner phase right now. Yes.
Oh boy.
Okay, so I have a review on IMDb. It's a 3 out of 10. And it's titled "I Am Old and Dislike Everything." All right. Smile is everything I hate about modern horror. A plot hijacked from the 90s obsession with westernizing J-horror, CGI blood, herky-jerky cameras, and over-reliance on jump cuts, interstitial drone shots, and so many sins against my personal cinematic rules. Sure, I love Jess Franco, Jean Rollin, Bruno Mattei, Joe D'Amato, and direct-to-streaming Amityville movies and have no taste, but I still know a movie that has no merit whatsoever when I watch it. A longer version of director and writer Parker Finn's Laura Hasn't Slept. This is totally a short stretch to feature length and all of the issues that brings. That same Laura Weaver is a patient of Dr. Rose Cotter, and she hasn't slept since she watched her art professor kill himself after an entity hunted him through the smile. Okay, whatever. We don't have to go through a recap of this. You've seen it all before.
There's a reason I never read the full review cycle.
You've seen it all before, but at least this one had a fun ad campaign of smiling people showing up on TV and smiling through news shows and baseball games. Does the protagonist have a cop boyfriend still in love with her? Yes. Does she have a curse that she has to pass on? Yes. Does it toy with the hope of a happy ending only to pull the rug? Yes. Derek Riggs, who created Eddie for Iron Maiden, once told me that someone smiling was the most unsettling visual. He's right. I wish he could also have explained to these filmmakers how to make a better movie, not so reliant on cliches. But then again, people have been quick to enshrine this along with other movies that really aren't that special, like It Follows and The Babadook. Two very simple movies that simply aren't anywhere near as wonderful as people hunting for seem something to evangelize empty notions of film that would barely register were so many truly dreadful horror movies being made. In the kingdom of really dumb movies, slightly stupid ones have become king.
I will agree on a couple of things. I do think that it makes use of tropes and cliches, which I defend that. Sometimes
there's nothing wrong with tropes and cliches. I think that's like a very important thing in movies. You don't have to always follow or like, break mold. Sorry.
I did forget about this, but I agree. I don't like the upside down interstitial shots.
What is that exactly?
Like those like little in between shots where we'd see like the horizon flipped upside down. That happened a couple of times and it seemed meaningless when it happened.
Yeah,
it's just arty more than anything.
It's like a thing of that era.
Yeah,
Midsommar does some of that too. It's just like a
Midsommar does it like one time though, as they're entering into the Horga.
Yeah, did they not?
Village.
Did they do it a lot of times in this movie? I didn't really
Yeah,
notice.
it was like 3 times, I think.
I wouldn't call it herky jerky camera though.
I don't think it's herky jerky.
The entire time.
Those interstitial shots. I will agree with the guy on that. I don't know. Maybe it's a case of one of those that like it got too overhyped before he watched it.
I guess, but like, I mean, if you don't like It Follows, like, I don't know. I just don't think
it just seems like that's not his type of movie.
But he likes The Ring. I don't know. It's confusing to me. I don't know. I don't think he likes modern cinema.
Seems like it.
I think he's not really a fan of like the new wave of like.
He's old and doesn't like this.
Yeah. He's upfront about it. Really, that's it. Like things like different camera styles and movies have a very feel for when they were made, and I guess he's just not into this current decade or whatever.
Did we have any listener reviews?
We did. Yeah. So I asked what you'd rate it on our thing there, and I got an answer from Marnie who says 9 out of 10. So that's pretty good.
Did we get a Y?
I don't get a Y for that one, but I do have one.
Did you ask people for a Y?
No, I literally just said rate it. So they did their homework right there. They did the assignment, and that's perfect. Lord Zombie, however, did write out a review. He says, I like this movie, and the hot take, I liked it more than Smile 2. This one really captures the overall sense of trauma the Smile monster is putting out. Good creepy scares and fake outs. Really good movie.
Yeah. I think it captures two different inner demons between the two movies.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I need to rewatch Smile 2 because it's been a while since we've seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Man, it's tough. I can't tell you one way or another. I think I would have to rewatch Smile 2 again to be be able to tell you which one I like more, but I think that they're both very strong movies. Spawn 2 might be better. Might be. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this week's episode. Thanks everybody for listening and participating in all the stuff like reviews, and if we had a poll, polls too. But we like to thank you guys. And
next week we will be talking about our Patreon voted episode.
Yeah.
That is going to be Pearl, which you can stream on HBO Max, Hulu Premium, YouTube Premium, Sling TV Premium, Prime Premium, YouTube TV Premium, or you can rent it from Google Play, Fandango at Home, or Apple TV.
Yeah, and we're finally talking about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We would like to thank our bubbies over at the Patreon.
Mm-hmm. We have Joe,
Freakatron.
as is his name. Amber. I thought you were doing it.
No, I did the Freakatron. You do everything
Oh
else.
shit!
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh
Live
my
episode,
God.
everybody.
Oh
So
my
we have Joe
God.
Freakatron, Amber, Michael, Tyler, Chad, Johnny, Jason, Lord Zombie,
Did you get
and Tyler.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Sorry, everybody. I fucked it up there and I got out of order, but we got everybody. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being patrons. We really, really appreciate your all support. There's other things you can do if you don't want to be a patron, which we totally get. You can do things like our posts or whatever. Whenever we put these out there, you can like the show, like 5-star it, rate the podcast, comment, stuff like that. Share the episodes whenever we put them out there, and just thanks for supporting us, and we really appreciate you guys being here. And I think we're gonna go ahead and take it away. So we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.